For ACUSports.com, I'm Grant Boone talking some men's hoops here. Big day at Moody Coliseum. ACU goes to 4-4 in the Southland Conference with an 80-71 win over Lamar. We've got Joe Golding, head coach, and freshman Hayden Farquhar. Hayden, let's begin with you. You were part of a run in that first half. Your team went on a 15-1 spurt. It's a 6-6 game. All of a sudden, it's 21-7. The crowd was going crazy. What was it like out there?
It was a great atmosphere. The fans were getting after it, and the players on the court, they were all together, and we were just playing for each other, and it was big for us, and everybody came together.
Now, you're still learning your way around the Southland Conference, first-year player. You're 4-4 now, 3-0 here at home, 1-4 on the road. If you were to try to pinpoint what the difference is, why is it that your team seems to play better at home, as most teams tend to do?
The fans. Fans is a big part of it. Going on the road, there's nobody really there to support you and everything. Whenever the gym here at Moody, it gets rocking and rolling, that's whenever we get rocking and rolling.
You're part of a tremendous freshman class. Obviously, Jalen Franklin, Jaron Lewis, Hayden Howe. You got a couple of guys who are redshirting this year. A lot has been asked of you guys. A lot of freshmen on a lot of teams get a chance to just kind of work their way in. A lot's been put on your shoulders. How has this group of first-year guys accepted that role?
Like you said, Jalen Franklin, Jaron, and Hal, we're all coming together, and I think we fit really good with this senior class. They help us in practice. They want us to succeed in everything we do, and I think that's a big part of it.
Been working with Jalen Franklin on his three-point shooting?
A little bit, but he's just been 3 for 4, that's insane. Good for him.
That's pretty good. Let's talk to your head coach who drew up those 4 3-point field goal attempts by Jalen Franklin today. He makes 3 of them. I'm telling you, if he makes one mid-range or three-pointer every now and then, Jalen Franklin, I don't know how you'd stop him. He was terrific today, as were the Haydens and Jaron Lewis, your freshman.
Well, it's just called being a winner, I mean, he does things that wins games, and he's always been that way ever since I've known him, and we're glad he's on our team. Farquhar can attest to this in practice all the time. He hits mid-range and he hits some threes, so it's not something we see every day. It's not something different. We see it in practice, and he just carried it over to the game, and I haven't said anything to him all year. He can hit shots when he needs to hit shots, and just like he can hit free throws when he needs to hit free throws. So he's a winner, and we're glad he's on our team.
Well, let me get you to speak about not just Jay Frank,
Yep.
but Hayden Howell and Jaron Lewis. This is the time of year when the grind really gets to a lot of freshmen. We've seen some games with Jaron Lewis, with Jalen, who've played heavy minutes, some games of late, especially on the road, really actually only on the road, in which things haven't gone their way. This is a tough time to try to grind through, isn't it, for these young guys?
Yeah, it is, but I think our guys are handling it well. I think they're playing their best basketball right now, and you especially see it in practice. That's where those guys get better. They get better in practice and continue to have great practice habits and continue to work in practice, and then when they get game minutes, they're prepared and they're ready for it. I told Coach Tanner this yesterday. I said, Farquhar, you can see, and I think Hayden Howell is this way too, but both of them, you can see their confidence and you can see their growth every day in practice. Farquhar struggled trapping ball screens early on, and now in practice he gets 8 out of 10 right, on trapping, and that's what limited those guys early on, was on the defensive side of the floor, and that's where Farquhar has done a tremendous job for us, and I think the biggest growth for him. He's very skilled. We're going to be able to do a lot of things with him in his career. As you see today, he shot 5 threes. He can really shoot the basketball. He can dribble. He can pass. He's very skilled, and there's going to be a lot of nights here we're going to get him on the perimeter, and it will make us better offensively. We haven't really developed all that yet within what we do, but he's been patient with it, and he's it's hard. These freshmen come from programs where they were the guy, they were the main part, and we talked about this freshman class before we went to Costa Rica. I pulled them all in. I said there's going to be different points in time during your career, and especially your freshman year, where guys take off maybe a little faster than others, and then my guys might take off, and then they come back down, another guy takes off, and we knew that would then be, but it's just said always stick together and have each other's back, and they're extremely close. They like each other. Obviously, we have great leadership with our seniors. Those guys have done a tremendous job, but you can start seeing it. I thought Hayden Howe did some really good things today, besides his free throw. And him and Farquhar are going to spend some time the next 48 hours, not at sing-song practice, but they're going to get for freshman follies or whatever they got. They're going to get on there on the free throw line.
That was October.
Was that October? Yeah. Okay. And get in there and make some free throws.
Well, your freshmen who might need to work on their free throws go for 27, Jay Frank, Jaron Lewis a dozen, Farquhar for 8. And they lead your team in scoring. Let's talk a little bit about that team you just beat. Last year they got you twice. They got you here 2 years ago. This was a team that was dangerous in some ways. Talking to your associate head coach, Brett Tanner, at halftime of the women's game, he said, I'm nervous because they've lost 6 out of 7, and that doesn't reflect how talented they are.
No. I mean, you look at it, they came into the league 8-4, I think, and then so they've struggled here of late, but they're a very talented team. They're very well coached. Coach Price does a tremendous job. I've got a ton of respect for him. And we struggled with them last year. They whooped us pretty good last year, both times. I don't want to think about Garland, but Garland especially, was not a good night for us. And so I'm proud of our guys. This game meant a lot to 6 guys in that locker room that were part of us last year that took those 2. And I think it shows in that locker room to those 6 the growth of this program and where we're headed and what we're doing. I was proud of our guys, proud of the way we competed against a really talented team. I think you look at it, they're the best rebounding team in the league. They only out-rebound us 2, but we only gave up 4 offensive rebounds. We talked about turning them over to try to get out in transition, and we turned them over 17 times. And then we did not want to turn the basketball over.
You only had 10.
And we only had 10, And then obviously Garth is a really, really dangerous player, and so is Booze. Obviously we remember what Booze did to us last year. I thought we did a good job on Garth for the most part. He got loose on us a little bit, but then Chapman goes crazy, So they got a talented roster. You can't take away everything, and that's a credit to what Coach Price has done. So we're lucky to come out here with a win.
Well, here's another sign of growth. ACU wins its 4th conference game of the season today. Didn't get the 4th conference win until the final week of last year. They go to 4-4, even in the conference, 6th place alone in a 13-team league, hosting Houston Baptist, which going into tonight's game is unbeaten in the league. Should be a good one Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. You can catch that broadcast on the ACU Sports Network. For Hayden Farquhar, Coach Joe Golding, I'm Grant Boone.